Rising Impact, one of 2 golf animes. The other one being
Robot X Laser Beam.
X Laser Beam, which is created by Kuroko no Basketball. Even though I like Kuroko no Basketball, I wasn't gonna read Robot and Laser Beam. Also, they don't have all the mangas, and it's a short manga because it got canceled because it was terrible. But we have Rising Impact, a series that they revived from the dead because it was created by 7 Deadly Sins.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, we're doing Rising Impact?
Yes.
Oh my god. Are you serious? Oh my god, I got the anime wrong. I came unprepared. I didn't watch the anime. I watched 4 Nights of the Apocalypse.
We're not talking about 4 Nights of the Apocalypse.
Well, you're gonna have to carry this episode by yourself. Hi, I don't know anything about this anime, but Nakaba Suzuki is my enemy, Annie.
I'm Minty.
And this is FunUntitled, where we serve every podcast with an F you and nerve.
That was a funny bit.
No, seriously, I didn't watch the anime. Nakaba Suzuki is my enemy.
Because Annie doesn't watch new animes or read new manga unless I make them do it.
Hey, guess what? Rising Impact is a mid-series that they only got back because Nakaba is popular in Spain. So they were like, we don't have any new series to turn into anime. Let's just go with an established author and turn his old work into an anime. It worked with the One Piece author. It can work here.
One Piece though only had like 1 shots.
Yeah, what they're doing with the Dragon Ball with that one series with the in the sand, it looks like.
I want them to remake Dr. Slump. Because that's his, like...
Baby.
Yeah, this is his actual first famous series.
Nakaba Suzuki is so funny to me, the author of 7 Deadly Sins, aka
And...
Naruto no Taizai, and Rising Impact.
Thank you.
Because, like, he wants to do sports series so bad. He said in an interview, after 7 Deadly Sins, he wants to make a baseball manga. But instead, because of the popularity of Naruto no Taizai, he was forced to make 4 Nights of the Apocalypse.
Also, there's too many baseballs animes. And Ace of the Diamond is the best one out there.
That's like someone coming into the scene saying, I bet I can do a better boxing manga. And Hajime no Ippo going, hell nah, stay down, bitch.
Not after 1400 chapters.
Did you know Hajime no Ippo hit the 35th anniversary this year?
Holy shit.
But I heard that some chapters literally just 6 pages and they call it a day.
I mean, 35 years going strong fairly, right?
BTW, do you know Hunter x Hunter's coming back in this October?
Yes.
Okay. So, what is Rising Impact about? Why is it called Rising? What's the impact?
Shut up. I'm doing this episode my way. Rising Impact is about a young boy named Gawain. And he's just this hick of a boy living in the forest with his grandfather. And he's like, I like to hit balls far and long. So he was basically playing like stickball or like baseball where he'd have a stick hit through a ball. He could hit the ball the farthest. And they're like, yeah, baseball.
I hate the fact his English dub is that spell. Every time I walk in, I hear that voice. I'm like, that's not the sound of a child. That's a moto.
It sounds exactly like Zatchbell. But a professional golfer got lost while trying to get to a tournament, and she was like, you little boys can't hit a ball far. I'll show you how to hit a ball far. And she used a golf club to do it. And Gwen's like, whoa, that's so cool. I want to be a golfer because my only goal in life is to hit the ball really far. And she's like, okay, here, take my golf club. And when you're better... Actually, I think she offered to take him to Tokyo and he said, no, I can't leave my grandfather. But then the grandfather was like, no, go to Tokyo and become the greatest golfer ever.
The grandpa sat him down and was like, hey, Gawain, you know what Jujutsu Kaisen and me have in common? Hopefully nothing. Hopefully the grandpa lives. Now, if you want grandpa to live, you leave before I have to die so you're free from obligation.
I'm pretty sure I'm much younger than the Jujutsu Kaisen kid, but okay.
Now, I have to ask a very important question.
Yes.
This woman that came,
Yes.
was this his future love interest?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I will say, I was trying to find stuff on this series, and one of the things I came across was a Reddit post that said that they saw scans that showed who the end couples were. And one of the end couples is Gawain and this professional adult golfer who's probably like 15 years older than him. Which I will say, yes, that is a big age gap.
But they can make it work. He's like 5.
He's like 8.
He's 8!
He's very young.
Holy shit, it's like watching Alyssa Samurai all over again.
Shut up. up. It's nothing like that.
No, I just can't believe he's 11.
Oh, yeah. Look, you've all probably seen the episode, and if me and Annie were smart, we would have done our own expose because we knew about it before people were making videos on it.
I hate the fact it became such like a buzzword. Like, oh my god, like every anime channel had to cover this because it's so scandalous. And I'm like, shut up. None of you were there.
Like, you guys are saying this after the fact. Basically, Nakaba has this thing where he likes to make couples with a slight pedophilic undertone.
And sometimes he throws the slight part out the window.
It goes from varying degrees to slightly to almost crossing the line to be actually.
To actually just doing it, but justifying being like, hey, the character knows she's wrong, okay?
You think so? You think he's crossed that line?
Well, okay, spoilers for Four Nights of the Apocalypse. If Jericho is in love with Belane's son, and she's looking for a world where she can be with him, is that not crossing the line?
But does she want him as a child?
No, with Arthur's chaos magic, she's gonna age him up.
Okay, so it's like grooming.
Yeah, it's like grooming. That's another thing where Merlin met Arthur as a child, and Merlin dipped in the Four Nights of the Apocalypse, but Arthur is in love with her, so he's trying to find her.
That's different. That's not grooming.
That's reverse grooming. Yes, he wanted to. No, I'm just kidding. But no, but it's weird.
So there's always these. So I wouldn't say he necessarily crosses the line.
But holy shit, he dances on it.
I mean, you're so close to that line that you only see the other side.
If only we could do a golf hunt here. It'd be so fucking funny. I wish my father was here.
It's almost like he shot the ball with a driver and the ball lands right next to the hole.
Yes.
It doesn't go in like a hole in one. But my god, was it an albatross.
Yeah, he does a lot of birdies, doesn't he?
Young birdies.
He's going goes to Tokyo with this woman that he later marries.
Okay, so technically she leaves, right? And then the grandpa says go to Tokyo. So when he goes to Tokyo, it's like, oh, I gotta find this lady.
Okay, so Gawain, Lancelot, Tristan, obviously they're all named after the Knights of the Round Table.
Right.
Now, do they have special golf clubs that's like the Excaliburs?
I will get into that.
Okay.
Now, technically, as of right now, not really, but there is something like that. So basically, Gawain goes to Tokyo. He's trying to find her. Instead, he finds a golfing range, which is where he meets up with Lancelot. And Lancelot is like this great putter, but Gawain knows nothing about putting. And he's like, oh, so golfing's more than just having a driver and shooting the ball far. You also have to putt, which is basically rolling the ball into the hole.
He learns that at putt school?
Well, he learns that in the hard knocks life of meeting Lancelot.
Question, does this show ever go over the different type of golf clubs you need?
It goes over some of them, but for some reason, it doesn't go over all of them. So what they do go over is they go over the three main ones, which is the driver. That's the one you see with the big head, and that's for like distance. That's usually what you'll start off with. Then you have irons from 1 to 9, and they're more like the driving forces. So like mid-ranges, and I believe 1 is supposed to hit the farthest, and 9 is the shortest. Or I could have that backwards, but those are the driving forces. And then once you get onto the green, which is the green is the area almost immediate to the hole, that's when you use the putter to roll the ball into the hole. But there are other golf clubs that they never talked about, but they do mention, such as a wedge, a sandwich, I think, and like a pincher.
This is your Subway order.
Shut up. I want all the works.
Which one do you use to murder your husband?
I would assume the driver because that has the big head. But I do feel like they often say 9 iron.
Yeah, I feel like that too. Like, definitely the small one.
I feel like 9 iron because it's still heavy, but it has like, there's a thinness to it, so you can hit your husband at like an angle. The driver might have too much surface area.
Disclaimer. Only if he cheats on you with a younger woman.
Like Tiger Woods.
Oh.
Oh, he's not dead, but he definitely fucked over his wife. So anyway, this is what it was kind of weird. They start off at like a regular school and at golf club, and it's like, cool, I'm learning how to golf. And then
they realized he wasn't enrolled, so they told Gawain, get the fuck out.
Worse than that, he gets scouted into a different school.
Oh my god.
The Camelot Academy.
Oh my
where only
god.
the best of the junior golfers can go. So they take Gawain, right? Because obviously he's a gifted young man. Lancelot did not join because he cannot leave his sister alone, because his sister is the greatest putter in the world, and he became a putter because of her. But then her eyesight was going, so he couldn't leave her side. And so he only joins Camelot Academy way later after she gets surgery. And I'm like, I know you visit her every day, but you still have school and you still go to golf practice. How would going to Camelot Academy change anything?
Because it's over the pond. This is in Britain? No, Tokyo, right?
No, they have a Tokyo branch.
Okay.
So in the Tokyo branch, Gawain gets to meet like the other children. So he's in like the first year, which I don't know how he's in the first year when he's much younger than them. And they also do all the same math quizzes together. And I was like, well, how is this fair? Either everyone in golf is stupid or Gawain's a genius genius in more ways than one.
Like Anya and Spy Family.
I mean, I guess so, right? Except on that full moon, then it doesn't work. So,
It's funny, Lancelot Norman. Can I assume Belane's last name should have been Norman?
you know, I don't know.
Bond and Helene Norman. The king and queens of the fairies.
They never talk about him if he's a foreigner.
He has a British accent.
Yeah, that just could be a voice acting choice. I don't think he has an accent.
I would love to hear a British Japanese accent.
Yeah, you know, when I realized that was a thing too, like you could have like a German French accent and then that person just sounds weird forever. So,
Can I just say real fast, I have a wife in this anime. I don't know anything about her.
Oh my
but
God.
you never once said her name was
Okay.
Arya. Why didn't you say her name was Arya?
as Gawain has entered this school, his teacher's name is Arya Seyfort. And I thought if Annie ever saw this anime, they would nut over her. She's got a cool, temperate personality who just wants to help the kids get better at golf. White hair, blue lipstick, glasses. Annie's obsessed with the word Arya because of My Little Pony.
Yeah, people don't have to know the context.
Oh, is this not what we're gonna talk about? We're not gonna talk about adults watching children's shows.
Me and my wife Arya will not stand here. Let's go, sweetie. We gotta change your last name.
What is her last name?
Safe what?
No, not hers.
Oh,
Oh no, her name wasn't Arya, but she sings a song called Arya.
This Day Arya.
Yes.
Princess Candace sings it.
Yes, that's a good song to be fair.
It is. So he's going to school and like play the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX theme song. I forget how it goes.
So he meets the first years, and then he meets the second years. That part's kind of boring, but the interesting part is they get the best 7 students from the first years and the second years.
And they make babies.
And I mean, it'd be better them making babies than Gawain making babies with an adult professional golf player while he is a literal elementary child. But I digress. No, they picked the 7 to enter the Camelot tournament, which the best 7 from Japan competes with the best 7 in UK and US.
And everyone gets a sin associated with them.
You know how cool it'd be if they did that. But
Oh, you'd be cool. Like the guy who represents Sloth, he does like horn one because he falls asleep right after the first shot.
wouldn't he be too OP then?
Well, that's how you defeat him, right?
It's like slacking, where he always had half the time. But they picked a 7, right? Then Lancelot comes and like, my sister had surgery, so I can now join the...
So he beats up the 7 weakest one.
You know what? That'd be smarter. But you know what happens? There's a girl part of that team who's a really good putter. And she's like, you and me, we're gonna keep putting until one of us fucks up.
And Lancelot like, you think you're my sister or something? I can do it. And then later on they get married?
No.
Ah.
Okay, remember I keep saying Gawain marries the adult professional golf player? She has a sister who's the same age as Gawain. That's who Lancelot ends up with.
I want this series done with. I want it ended. I want it gone.
Less pedophilic, but I mean...
Lancelot is so pretty, but he's so pretty. He's so gender andronian. You're telling me he ends up with that little girl gremlin?
Yes.
Look at that. Look at the Japanese voice actor right now. I don't even know what gender Lancelot's voice actor is.
That is true. The Japanese voice actor is Yumiri Hanamori. Not sure if that's a boy or girl name.
I don't know. I can't tell.
Could be both.
Could be both.
Anyway, so Lancelot gets on the team. So then they go to the UK. And the UK Camelot team is the best team. And I feel like, so this is where we get to season 2 territory. And I feel like season 2 is when the series really gets good. Like season 1 is kind of a drag and I kind of went through it really quickly. But season 2 is super good because not only do you have like the best youth players, but okay, so let's get into like what's really good about the series. First of all, a lot of the characters have a gift. So Gawain's one is Rising Impact, and so is his half brother that he meets later on. But Rising Impact is basically he hits the ball really hard and it keeps going up, and so that way it goes a really long distance. Lancelot has Shining Road, so when he putts, he can see a road of gold that leads the ball to the hole. So every time he putts, it's basically a 90% chance of success.
Fun fact, Lancelot in FunUntitled to the Apocalypse also has that power, but just his attack 100% will always hit. But the downside is that his weapon can't take the brute force.
Very like Fire Emblem when the weapons have a durability.
Yeah.
Which is very annoying.
Yes, he's trying to find the guy who made the 7 sacred treasures to make him a weapon that won't break.
Oh, interesting. Later you meet Tristan from the UK. He has, I believe it's called Falling Stars. So what it is that he sees little green stars that fall and it represents the wind.
This reminds me of Tsum Tsum abilities.
I mean, maybe. Except sometimes all the same abilities, it's just they look different.
You're able to see this nice aesthetic.
That's what I think makes it an anime. Like, this is a very anime thing to do, right?
Yes.
And so for Tristan, he's very good at like chipping the ball. What chipping means using an iron to carry the ball up in a sense and into the hole with almost like no net and basketball.
Wait, so is it kind of like Gawain?
No, Rising Impact is all about going distance. Him, it's just that he's able to. They say he's a 120-yard king. So within that range, he can just chip the ball in.
Oh.
But 120 yards is not super far.
Okay.
So for Gawain, he hits almost like 400 yards, and that's considered a long distance. But 120 yards is not considered a long distance.
Tristan Leones in the Four Knights of Apocalypse only has angel and demon powers. I wonder if later on he'll get falling stars. That sounds like a power that a Nephilim would have.
Yeah, sounds very like not angelic, but a celestial.
Yes.
Other characters also have powers. They don't really have names. So like the girl who was a good putter had very similar powers to Shining Road. It's just that she saw like serpents going from her ball to the hole, and the more difficult the hole, the more serpents she saw.
Okay, Tom Whittle, calm down.
Maybe a Harry Potter reference?
Hell yeah.
I don't know your Harry Potter turfling agenda.
Fun fact, more people regret having a Harry Potter tattoo than transitioning to genders.
Yeah. I feel like that's not fair though. I think even if J.K. Rowling's a turf, you can still like Harry Potter. As long as your like tattoo isn't a quote and that says J.K. Rowling at the end.
I think it's not fair because people will get tattoos more impulsively than changing the gender.
Yes, for sure.
Because you can just get like a wand on your arm, but like changing your gender has a whole lifestyle, you know?
Yeah, and I think you have to go to therapy.
Oh, do you?
I think like just to make sure that you're doing this for the right reasons, which I don't think is like a high bar, but it's kind of like if you're doing this because your mom wants you to, then they're gonna be like, well, no, I don't think you should get transitioned then.
Like, do you think maybe you're non-binary and not trans? Like, I don't know.
I think it's because like you said, right, detransitioning would also be very difficult too.
Very traumatic, I heard.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to Rising Impact. So we meet Tristan Leones.
So I like that like the characters have their gimmicks, and I wish they showed more of the characters kind of like with these gifts fighting each other and seeing like which one is gonna end supreme. The one thing I don't like though is that Gawain, two things. One, during the tournament, he kind of like got this head injury and became a different person and started golfing really good. But I'm like, okay, what's the point of this? Because he's never gonna golf like this again. Two, he can hit a hole-in-one, but the ball ricochets so much in the hole that it comes out of the hole and is not considered a hole-in-one. And I don't know if it's not considered a hole-in-one because it ends out of the hole or because they don't know it got in the hole.
Like basketball.
It's kind of different because you would know.
Yeah, I guess.
Because in golf, because it's so far away, they don't have someone next to the hole being like, I'm just here in case someone hits a hole-in-one.
That's why we should go with my plan of putting beans in every hole. If your ball covered in beans, we know what happened.
Or glitter.
Oh, glitter, yeah.
Glitter would be easier. The other thing I really like is that they make these courses very strange. Like, cause like if you see a golf course, right, like you'll see like, okay, it has like a water hazard or it has like a sand pit or whatever. But this is like, they would make like a forest that would like spiral into so you have to hit it into the center of the forest. Or they would have like, oh, you can take 3 different routes and one will take you into like a muddy path. Or you could go like into like the windy path.
You know, I always said this. I don't know how you can make a golf anime, but I think you could very much make a mini golf anime very successfully.
A mini golf series would be very cool.
Like, you know, just keep the same aspect of golf, but like, you know, there's gonna be obstacles, you know?
And they need power.
They need powers.
The powers things I think is the most difficult figuring out. But making the courses crazy and themed would be super fun.
Like, I saw one with like, this is Merlin's lab. It's like, oh shit, there's nothing here.
They give the courses like Arthurian names. So it'll be like Excalibur's Trench or something. So when you talk about the weapons, if you won the Camelot tournament, you can have one of the 12 sacred golf clubs part of the round table. So Tristan was considered the winner of this tournament and he won an iron. But he wanted to give it to Gawain because he thought Gawain was the actual winner. But Gawain had to withdraw because his head injury was him losing too much blood. But Gawain says, I don't want it. It's not a driver. It was like very like, I was like, you know what, Gawain? That's fair. Because you could do nothing with an iron. You can only do anything with driving. So in the series, they say that you find one of those 3 golf clubs and you just pick that as your specialty. And then the other 2 will just fall into place. Which I feel like the iron's the most important because it's kind of a mid between the two. So I would say it's like a pretty good series. Season 1 drags, and season 2 is like, oh, cool. And then you also, okay, so there's a guy named Arthur. He comes and nobody really likes him. I'm not really sure what his deal is, but you do find out he is Gawain's father. And I did think after finding out he's Gawain's father, and it seems like Gawain's grandfather does not like him, but this isn't Arthur's father. This is like Gawain's mom's father. So it's kind of like, okay, grandpa, you let your grandson become a golfer. You also let him go to UK, knowing that your son-in-law is there, and you don't like your son-in-law. This is one thing I didn't think made much sense. So Arthur is like, you're my son. You have the rising impact. Only those with my blood can have rising impact. Why is it blood related? I don't know. But like, he's like, Gawain, I am going to start a Arthur Youth Golf Club, and I want you to join.
Like Food Wars.
Kind of. But it's like, we're gonna like compete against all the best youth. And I'm like, isn't that what Camelot's about? They make them compete against each other. And then Gawain says no, because he's like, I'm not as good as Lancelot and Tristan, so I want to beat them before I join your thing. And I'm like, but Gawain, the whole point of you, if you joined Arthur, was that then you'd be up against Lancelot and Tristan, because right now you can't be against them if you're part of the same organization as them.
It's weird that in FunUntitled Apocalypse, Gawain is Arthur's nephew. Or niece, I meant. She's a girl in that one.
Oh, really?
So I wonder if Arthurian legend that they are like legitimately related.
Does Arthur have siblings?
He was adopted into a royal family.
Oh, gotcha.
But so technically he wasn't supposed to get the throne, but because he was able to pull out Excalibur, they gave him the throne.
Because he had a penis, he was allowed to become king. She didn't have a penis.
Fun fact, so Gawain's father, aka Arthur's stepbrother, when Arthur pulled out the sword, he didn't understand the significance of it. So the brother's like, it was me, I was the one who pulled out the sword, right, Arthur? And Arthur's like, yeah. But then the dad found out, hey, you didn't pull out that sword, you motherfucker, and beat the son and threw him in prison. And then Arthur's like, I feel so bad for you, kid. He's like, oh, fuck you, Arthur. You're a piece of shit. You're the one that reported me. He's like, no, it wasn't me. It was Merlin. I would have given you the sword, brother. It's just a little fun fact there.
There are other couples in this series that I read about. Now, Gawain had a perfect love interest. That's the thing that pisses me off. Her name is Percival. She is part of Camelot UK, and they spent a lot of time together, to the point where like Gawain withdraws from the tournament and he goes to the hospital. He wakes up, he's like, I don't know what the fuck happened. And Percival is like, oh, you can come to my house, we can hang out, and I also have a driving range at my house. So then the parents pick them up, and then he spends time with her and her parents, and it's very cute, and they're both the same age, and it's like, he wants to be the best golfer, and she wants to be the best golfer, and she wants to prove that female golfers are just as good as male golfers. And so it's like, damn, what the fuck, Nakaba? You had a perfectly good same, because all the other couples are same age. I don't know if Tristan ends up with anyone, but the girl who's a really good putter, she ends up with the captain of the second years of the Japan team, and they're really cute. They have like their little moments together. And then Gawain's half brother has a girlfriend, and they're kind of cute. She's kind of annoying, but you know, I gotta see what season 3 holds. But yeah, I'll say that's Rising Impact. I would recommend it if you like sports series.
My father wants to watch it.
He should. But every time he says he wants to watch an anime, he doesn't really watch it unless we're watching it. And so far, it's just really been Food Wars season 1 to 3.
So we'll join you next time when we talk about Rising Impact season 3. Well, let's see how much I can say. Why did they turn Zatch Bell personified into a lesbian in the new series? I don't understand.
And if anybody knows where to read the manga, let me know.